All right, so we're hanging out backstage with Kip Moore at Boots and Hearts. First time I get to chat with you, which is exciting. You just released a brand new song, She's Mine.
I did.
I heard you sound checking today.
Yeah.
Are you excited for fans to finally hear it live here in Canada?
I still haven't made up my mind if I'm going to play it. I'm kind of like, I do everything kind of spontaneous when I'm on stage. There's a lot of times I'll call all kind of audibles, and if I feel like they know it and they're asking for it, I'll play it.
Okay, that's cool.
Sometimes when I drop a new song, I like to let it simmer for a bit before I start playing it.
And you haven't played it live anywhere yet?
No.
No? I love it, by the way. It's so good.
Thank you.
So if that's any teaser of what the new album is going to be like, I feel like we're in for a treat.
I think that people that were in love with the Wild Ones album, they're going to be even more into this one.
So how long has the writing process been for this album?
I'd say 2 years.
Yeah.
We tour so much, so I'm always trying to write while we're on the road. So, I mean, it was a solid 2 years of writing, recording, figuring out what I loved, what I didn't love, because sometimes I'll be in love with something and I'll go track it and I'll fall out of love with it.
Oh, really?
So the process takes a long time. There's so much that goes into it.
And I feel like you are you're such a master of your craft that you're not someone that's going to release anything until you're 110% that it's perfect. What is it about? You've got to be on all your songs, I feel like, when you're writing. Is that something that's important to you?
I don't have to be. It's just, I've just kind of always, I feel like that we have a thing and I have a thing, and I just don't trust other people to write for me what I do. So, but there are people like Luke Dick, who I write with a lot, who I just think is brilliant. And, like Plead the Fifth, he played for me when we were in the writing room one day, and I didn't write that song, but I ended up recording it because it felt like something I would have done. So I'm not stubborn or arrogant to a sense that I'm not going to record something if it's great. I'll listen and consider it.
And if it tells something that's something you
not
feel
that it's just
telling.
great, because a lot of people write great music, but if it's great and it fits
for you,
what I do,
yeah, I like that. So you're an adventure guy.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I see something on Instagram, you're doing something wild and crazy. You're out in the mountains. How important is that to your career musically to take that time to go do that?
Oh man, I think it's everything for me. And staying in touch with life, with my feet in the dirt and the grass, and I might sound like a weirdo hippie to a lot of people, but it's like, when I go and travel and I stay in hostels or I do whatever, and I think that we get too caught up in the modern world and all the concrete and the clubs and all this stuff, and I'm like, I think we were meant to be connected with nature and the dirt and the grass and the animals, and it's like, so when I go and do this stuff and I'm in solitude, I get re-centered, and it always sparks for so much creativity when I'm in it and when I get back and I'm experiencing it.
Yeah, I get that. I never feel better than when I come back from shutting myself out of the city and being out in the world. So I want to talk about social media, because I feel like you're one of my favorite people to follow on social media, because you're so honest and true and real, and I think that's something to be honored in, when you're in the spot you're in, because I feel like that's a good thing to be that way and honest with your fans. Why do you want to make sure you're that?
First off, I think my mom and my dad definitely rubbed off on me. My dad especially so much. He was such a maverick. He was such an authentic human, and I think I looked up to him so much, and I always wanted to be that way. I never wanted to BS people, and I wanted to shoot straight, and I wanted to say what I felt and live the life I wanted to live and not worry about how others perceive it. And a lot of times I get kind of maybe a bad rap sometimes for how I feel about social media, but I think that's because people don't want to admit or look at themselves in the mirror for the vain things that they're doing. I've gotten caught up in that before, where I have to look at my own self in the mirror and be like, what am I doing right now? Like, what am I trying to do? And I think that everybody's trying so hard to look cool and look like a star, and it makes me sick to my stomach sometimes. So I'm vocal about it.
Like
I'm just like, I wish people would just
be
themselves, and that's it.
Yeah, I like that. Well, if you haven't heard his new song, She's Mine, you should probably check it out right now.
You should.
Because it is so good, and I cannot wait to hear your new record.
Thank you.
So good to see you. Kip Moore at Boots and Hearts.
Thank you.